You know that feeling when you hop on the portals, scroll for 15 minutes and go, wait, that's it? Los Angeles County is supposed to add about 100,000 new homes a year to catch up. And last year, we only managed around 28,000. That gap is a big reason why your equity looks the way it does and why it's so hard to find the next place that actually feels worth moving for. I'm Keri White, real estate agent here in beautiful Los Angeles, and I love to share grounded, data-driven insights so you can make smart moves. Whether you're thinking about trading up, downsizing, or just protecting the equity you've already built, hit subscribe to stay current and share this with that savvy friend who keeps texting you listings and saying, I just don't see anything I love. So let's talk about it. LA's housing shortage, not as some abstract policy thing, but as the reason why it feels like there's never enough good inventory. Why your home has so much equity on paper and how that can actually be used strategically instead of just staring at a Zestimate and feeling stuck. So here's what's going on. For decades, California didn't build enough housing for the number of people who live here. Thanks, Cali. Over roughly 40 years, the state added only a few hundred homes for every 1,000 new residents. That's like trying to squeeze an extra family into every other house on your block. Of course, things are gonna get tight. Now, the state has looked at the numbers and said, okay, we need to catch up. But for this 2021 to 2029 period, they want around 2.5 million new homes statewide. A huge chunk of that, over 1.3 million, is supposed to be in SoCal. And Los Angeles County's share is more than 800,000 homes, with almost 450,000 of those just in the city of LA. Sounds pretty ambitious, right? Well, here's the catch. To stay on track, LA County should be adding something like 100,000 units a year. And last year, as I said, we built 28,000. So we're running at roughly 1/4 of the pace we're supposed to be at. You don't have to remember any of those numbers. The point is, demand keeps growing and supply is not even close to keeping up. That's the backdrop for your equity and your limited choices when moving. Let me quickly highlight a couple I worked with in Brentwood, a lovely couple. They bought the townhome about 10 years ago. Nothing crazy, just a solid place they fixed up over time. Fast forward to today. They've built a lot of equity. Both work remotely and they wanted a slightly bigger home with an office and a little yard for their dog. A very normal Los Angeles move-up story, and honestly, the kind of clients who have done everything right. But when we started looking, it was crickets. Plenty of listings on paper, but very few homes that actually checked the boxes without feeling like a compromise. And every time we did find something good, we were competing with other buyers in the exact same position. People with equity, stable jobs, and the same idea to move up. So if this sounds familiar, it's not just bad luck. It's the math of a long-term housing shortage. So what I explained to them, and what a lot of my clients are realizing, is that this isn't just a phase. When a region has underbuilt for decades and is still behind the targets, waiting for a huge wave of perfect options to appear may not be the winning strategy. So we shifted the approach. We focused on their true non-negotiables. We used the equity that they had built and we stayed patient but ready, which is my favorite way to stay. And when that right home finally came up, they were prepared to move quickly and it worked. The win wasn't perfectly timing the market, it was really understanding the market that we're actually in and making a smart move within it. And if this sounds like your situation, I'm curious. Maybe think about what's actually holding you back from making your next move right now. Now, if you're analytical, you might be thinking, if the state knows we need more housing, why don't we just build it? Which is a very annoying question, because here's what I see behind the scenes. A lot of this city is still locked into older zoning that favors single-family homes and limits how much density you can add. So when the state says plan for 450,000 more homes, the local rules only allow a fraction of that to be built without changing the law. When we do try to update zoning, it runs through public hearings, neighborhood pushbacks, lawsuits, multiple departments. It's a whole process. And even once the approvals are there, then you've got construction costs, labor shortages, and now new tariffs on imported materials that can make projects incredibly incredibly expensive. Developers run the numbers and sometimes decide this just doesn't pencil for me. So on your side of the table, all of that shows up as not enough new inventory, new construction that's mostly market rate, not deeply affordable, and good resale homes getting a lot of attention when they hit the market. That's what you get. And this is why you can have a very healthy budget, great credit, and strong income, and still feel like you're chasing a small pool of homes. If you want more of these, why does it actually feel this way? Breakdowns instead of the hype, hit follow. I'm here all the time doing exactly this. Let's bring this back to you, the LA homeowner who's already done a lot of things right. If you've owned your home a while, odds are you've built a solid amount of equity. Partly because of your choices, partly because we simply haven't built enough homes. But that scarcity is one of the reasons your home is so valuable. So the real question isn't, will the market crash tomorrow? It's more, are you using that equity in a way that lines up with your life over the next 5 to 10 years? Or are you just letting the shortage, the interest rates, and the headlines make the decision for you by default? For some of my clients, the right move has been trading up now while they still feel competitive in this low inventory environment. Swapping into a neighborhood or school district that better fits how they actually live, or even holding and improving what they have, but with a clear plan instead of a vague maybe someday. You're not just a random buyer or seller. You're someone who's been paying attention to this market for years. And you deserve a strategy that respects that. So if you're equity rich and trying to decide whether your next move is in the next 12 to 24 months or 5 years from now, drop a comment or a DM. I love talking through these specific situations. So when you hear LA has a housing shortage, I want you to translate that into something much more practical. There's a structural reason my equity is strong and a structural reason why I don't see the endless options when I am ready to move. My job is really sitting between those two truths for you, taking those stats, the zoning changes, the construction realities, and turning them into a plan that fits your life, not just the headlines. If this gave you a clear picture of what you're feeling in the market, reach out below. I'd love to hear from you. And let me know in the comments what part of today's episode really resonated with you. And if you have that one friend that keeps saying, I'll move when the perfect house magically appears, send this video to them. It might actually be the nudge that they need to get.